What's going on YouTube? My name's Jonathan, and this is Relive the Hobby. I recently just started this channel, and after watching many people before me do pack openings and stuff, and it just made me fall in love with the hobby all over again from when I was a kid. So I've started doing a couple pack openings myself, and I hope to continue. But I wanted to actually touch base with something that I could have used to help me when I first got started collecting again. You know, when you're spending money, you're kind of going to get low on funds and you're going to need to get rid of some cards. So I got 5 helpful tips that's going to help you help out your eBay. The first one is mailing. I know. What about it? Thing is, a lot of people, when you think mailing, you're like, let me just throw it in a white envelope, put the address, and mail it off. Well, the bad thing about it is, there's so much that goes on with that letter that the card inside could get damaged. Especially if it's a valuable card, and you don't want that for your customers. So what I suggest is using a bubble mailer. What I normally do is I get the 7x4x4s, which are about this size. And it works perfect because you can do graded cards, regular top loader cards, a couple of cards. I wouldn't suggest putting quite a bit in there, more than like 10 cards or something like that. Maybe up the envelope size. But those work perfect for probably up to 5 cards. Um, if you're selling like just cheap cards, like, maybe anywhere from $1 to, maybe $3, give the customer that option to, use a bubble mailer. But if they suggest, a PWE, which is a plain white envelope, go ahead. But what I would suggest is take the card and put it in a soft sleeve and then put it in a top loader and then put it in an envelope. And that'll give it a little bit more security. I've also seen people that buy the greeting cards, and what they'll do is they'll do that and put the card in the greeting card and tape it shut to actually provide a little bit extra, cushion between the outside world and that card. But I would definitely go with the bubble mailers. Bubble mailers help out, and plus it adds tracking. Once you ship it through the app on your eBay store, you know, you get tracking, the customer gets tracking, so that way when it gets there, the customer knows, and that way it can't be nothing about, I didn't get my card, and then you have to refund the money and all that stuff. This way it got there, and you're covered, they're covered. Two, before listing a card, you might want to do a little research on it. You know, you can buy the Beckett's and these other, magazines that tell you the card's values, but they're really not real world value. They give you a book value, but the real value is what eBay is selling them for. And that's the value you want to know. So it's very simple. You just type in the cards you have. Just give it a very in-depth description of the card. And when, you type it in and it brings up all the cards, all you do is you go to the top right to where it's filtered. And you scroll down and you go to sold items. Click that, and then it's going to give you a list of everything that has sold the last 90 days in that category of your card. And that way you can look and see, hey, this card sold for $15, or around $15 consecutively. So that's what you can price it at. So that's a helpful tip that eBay provides us. It helps us give a more accurate value of the card and what it's worth. Also, a lot of times, you get across a card and you're like, man, if I get this graded, it'll be worth some money. Well, in some stances it is, but in others it's not, because you could send off the card and, just say you could sell the card raw. And when I say raw, I mean, no, not graded. And if you sell that card raw, you maybe get $3-4. But now if you send it off, you're going to have to pay, a pretty penny. Now, if you have a membership to PSA or Beckett, it cuts you a little bit of a discount. But the main thing is, you're going to probably spend at least or around $10 to get that card graded. More or less, depending on They've run specials sometimes. But, so you get that card graded and it comes back a PSA 9, let's say. Well, what you were thinking was going to be a $40, $50 card, it just become a $5 card. Just because it's a PSA 9, it's not a 10. And see, and that's the problem you run into is because you're investing this money to get more out of it. But in reality, if that card comes back a 9, then you're actually losing money on that. So that's another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure the cards you send off to get graded are going to get a good grade. And there are a lot of videos on here that you can look at that people go more in depth, on how to kind of look at your cards to see that. Mainly it's like the centering and the corners and stuff like that. I'm not an expert, so I ain't even going to touch it. But I'm just saying, check out some of those videos and before you send off your PSAs. Okay? Now, that brings me to the fourth one. Your old cards that you grew up on are not worth what you think. One thing and a hard lesson I learned is getting back into the hobby is all these cards that I had stashed up under my bed or in the attic or, in these books, they aren't worth anything now. And, back in the day, they might have been worth something, but the value has just declined on a lot of these older cards, especially the wax era. Anything from, I would say, 97 to really into the 2000s, there's not just no value there. I mean, it's you collect them for your personal interest. Like I've still got all my old cards, and they're special to me, and that's why I'm gonna keep them. And I would suggest doing the same. If you enjoy card collecting, then make sure the hobby comes first. Don't get into this just to get rich because a lot of times you're not. But so just keep that in mind that the older cards, and I see a lot of times on like Marketplace on Facebook, in the groups that people post these, Mark McGwire cards that, aren't even his rookie card, but they're thinking it's worth, you know, $25, $30, and really it's 10 cents. And, you know, people can be mean on that, okay? But we're not, so just kind of keep it. And that's another thing that brings you back to, using eBay to comp, what the sold listings are, so that way you have a better idea of what your card is valued at, okay? 5, last one, is you have, when you're listing a card, you have the buy it now, or you can put it as auction, or you can do both. Now, with buy it now, you're pretty much just putting the price out, being like, hey, you pay this, it's yours. Now, you can also put under there that you accept offers. Now, keep in mind when you do this that it allows people to send you all kinds of offers, but you can go in there and set it to where nobody can offer you anything less than this. And I would suggest doing that because I forgot to do it a couple times, and a card that I'd be selling for just say $20, somebody would offer me $5. So you can get butthurt real quick on that. So just kind of keep that in mind. Just, set a minimum that you really would feel comfortable with accepting maybe one day, and then go from there. Sometimes people might offer you a little bit more, but 9 times out of 10, people are going to offer you less than what your buy it now price is. So, and then you have your auction. With your auction, you can set a price that if it doesn't reach an auction, you don't have to sell it. But you're still going to get charged through eBay for a total value fee or whatever. But, auctions can be a good thing and they can be a bad thing. You can start something off at 99 cents and 20 people start bidding on it, and the next thing you know, you're up to $100, depending on the card. But then you could think mentally you have a card that's worth $50 and you start off at 99 cents and it only gets up to $5. So that's just something, it's a risk and a reward. So maybe start off your auction at, something, that you're comfortable with. Something that you're not going to cancel the sale if it goes through, you know, because that's just bad customer service. But, you know, I hope all this has helped out. Um, you know, I wish I would have known a little bit more when I got into it because, you know, it's difficult at some points, but it's a great hobby and I absolutely love it. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video and I hope it helps you a little bit. And if it did, you know, leave a comment, let me know. If there's anything else that y'all would like me to do a video on, leave it in the comments. But I just want to let everybody know that I will be doing a giveaway. Like I said, my channel is brand new pretty much. But I do have this Pete Alonso PSA 9. I'll be giving that away when I reach 50 subscribers. So just hit that like and hit that subscribe and get that little doorbell so you can get all the notifications whenever I have another video come out. And I hope y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.